So we're on the aftermaths of the war. Yeah, as in World War Four. And this is the faction map. It's gonna be quick because I want to play Hearts of Iron. So I had a chance to do that all day. That's a little excuse there, but oh well. So switching back to the actual map instead of the faction one. Oh, bro, just get out of my way. You trolling me, man. I don't know. Okay, just got to uncolor all this. As such, there you go. Oh, that's hefty amount of lag there. It's not enjoying that one, is it? That little guy almost got away from me there. Is there any blue there? Okay, no, it's not. So, looking first at Arabia. No, looking first at Canada, who are suffering the economic crisis. The Americans have been planting propaganda for unification for years since the British independence. And the final nail in the coffin was the economic factors. The government can handle the economy in like rejuvenating it. So they chose to join up with America, despite not being opposed popular opinions or methods to solve the economic crisis. It would help both the Americans and Canadians, and it wouldn't be permanent. Well, it wasn't designed to be permanent. Let's be honest, it probably will be if the Americans are pushing for it. Um, yeah. Not to go into Americans or anything. I mean, it's obvious that they want to keep it. It'll just be a problem to get rid of it. You get it. Oop, breathing the mic a little bit. There you go. Sorry, Canada, America, unify. Bet you didn't see that one coming. That's not the most niche thing ever, is it? Yep. And over here, stupid lag. And now I'm getting a message. Man, this is a rough day for you, boy. I'll be honest. All right. So now focusing in on Europe. Some separatist movements arrived in Yugoslavia because of the economic collapse, the change in ideology, which was not from communist to democratic, not exactly appreciated, and also just because the military was pretty much holding this together. Many held by the Russians. These are a powerful asset because resources and just army strength in general, pretty powerful. So essentially, it all started as Slovene nationalists because their distance from Belgrade declared independence. And this, obviously, the Yugoslavian government went up to here to deal with them, but motivated by the heroic cause of the Croatian separatists, also declared independence from Yugoslavia, as well as in the coming weeks the Bosnian Herzegovinian separatists. And Yugoslavia could go up in here and deal with this, but then there's a lot more separatists, or Kosovo, Montenegro, Macedonia, Banat, Transylvania. Is Krisana, or is that just a claim for someone else? It was, yeah, or the was it the Barnate of Vojvodina, something like that. Can't remember. But yeah, so they are officially at war with these, but we'll probably see the effects of that in the coming years, months rather, or next time. Um, there's obviously a big Russian one I'm going to deal with in a second. In Arabia, it all just falls apart entirely. It's going to be labelled to economic downturn, lack of support for the governments, um, and too much ideologies changing too quickly. So we have the Yemenis, right? I believe that's what you call them. This isn't a Yemenist separatist movement. It's more of a Arabian communist movement centered in Yemen, because that's the basis where most of the communist support they can find, and a stage in Yemen. So let's call this the Yemeni commune. Up here we have Iraqi separatists declaring war on the Arabian government as well. These are all. This is a civil war, so is Yugoslavia. So will be the other one up here. Well, it's a Russia now. I point to it. These are all civil wars. I'm just marking with actual things, so it's gonna last a while. And finally, with the Kuwait separatists, the Omanese separatists. The UAE doesn't build enough support, nor do they really have any. Well, just don't have enough support for it to A, form a government, or B. Oh, no, that's cool. blah blah blah, no government, not enough support, can't get enough men to even make it a valid cause, they can't defend themselves anyways. And finally we have some Kurdish um, movements going on up in the north of Iraq. By no means are these borders resembling the actual borders of the Kurds, maybe a few more down here, because they kind of get connected through Syria, I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So that's the Arabian Civil War. We'll get on to next episode. The world's looking a lot more modern. And finally, the big one I want to get on to. Well, this isn't necessarily just 1989, but I just want to do other things. I'm like studying for like 2 hours. You know, hard life for me. We do have the Russian Civil War, which I'll go into a bit of depth about. So we have in Novgorod, Murmansk, Karelia, and St. Petersburg, which it is now called. This is not following any borders of geography at all, so just don't get mad about it. In the north west here, we have the Russian Federation, a much more like, well, it's just a Russian Federation, man. It's kind of a name. Then they're declaring independence and declaring war on the provisional government, whose capital is currently in Moscow. Over here, the communist loyalists have fled to the Far East, where they've declared their independence from the provisional government, and then civil war moments, you know how it is. I'm trying to make this look good, as good as it can, let's be honest here. Claiming Vladivostok, is Cheetah down here, and Sakhalin. And that's the, let's call it the Soviet Union, I guess, on the SSR, because that's the funny one, how it's fun. Anyways, yeah, they've declared independence and declared war on the Russian provisional government. And just in the centre of Siberia here, or no, on the edge of Siberia, down by the Urals, we have a smaller movement led by some of the more popular generals and government officials. It's led by one of the famous generals who we not know the name of, because this is so far off our history. In my in-depth lore, I might Google Russian generals of the late 1980s, and they start off their own thing coming in the centre there, stretching out some supply networks maybe. Yeah, and that's all we're going to see for now. Now in Afghanistan, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this one. You can use your imaginations, it might be a bit touchy. They're the borders, and then you've got a brain, so you can put the two together. And it's not exactly what this is, but it's a similar movement. I believe there's some sort of thing going on back there now. Well, it's a similar type of group, might not be the same group, similar values in terms of the religion. The Japanese don't care to hold on to this Manchuria, so they go to, well, America, and then when they went to this Russia first, they're too broke to do anything, because they're more western aligned now, supposedly. Then they went to America to hey, do you want to take control of this for us? Well, so it's going to get independence, get invaded by Chinese, so the Americans take over ownership of this. And the Japanese not wanting to hold on to Korea. No, the Japanese holding Korea for now, rather. That's what I said. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, Japanese holding Korea for now. And now you might remember these guys being left their own devices now, which they are. But it's now with a new democratic government in place. There's the CCR still deeply inset inside wherever this democratic movement is now. So in Burundi, Rwanda, and Uganda, they garnered this support enough to launch a civil war, an uprising. So the CCR now exists again. See, let's be honest, in the Congo you're not crushing down a resistance, that's impossible. So there you go, a few little civil wars for you. Very exciting stuff. It'll be smart for me to make a civil war map. I'll just do that tomorrow because I want to do something else. Goodbye, my friends.